So y'all know that relatable moment when you walk in on your lifelong crush shoving something deep into your dad?
What?
I don't think anyone knows that moment other than you, Knick Knack.
Yeah.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Anime Club. I'm Knick Knack. With me is the great Lord Vorn.
Hello. Midterms ended.
Realm Shifter.
I don't got no midterms, but I still don't feel like I want to be here.
And Seki.
Thanks for the glowing praise and review.
No problem. Well, everyone, this week we went ahead and looked at Yona of the Dawn,
Akatsuki
episodes
no Yona!
1 through 13.
1 through 12. 1 through 12.
Was it 12? I thought it was 13.
Yeah, we did 12.
It was 12.
Yeah,
Because we ended in the middle of an arc.
Oh, yeah, it is 12.
Yeah.
Sorry, 1 through 12. So, spoiler alert for episodes 1 through 12.
But not 13.
Not 13.
Good for you people who've seen 1 through 12, but not 13. We're not going to spoil it for you.
Yeah.
All right, then. Well, I guess first off, everybody, it's time for everyone's favorite segment.
Waifu Wars!
Waifu Wars!
Waifu Wars!
All right, everyone. Who's your waifu? Let's start with Lord Vorn.
I guess ED was good.
Oh, gosh. You stole a joke.
You stole
Shame.
my joke!
You guys always do that.
I literally did it once and then never again. How dare you?
No, you did twice.
No, she
I
wanted to
didn't.
do it twice.
But I didn't actually. Anyways.
Anyways, Realm Shifter, who was your waifu?
I'm very conflicted about this one personally, but I'm honestly gonna say Hack. He's my spirit animal.
Big mood. In the first 12 episodes, it's Suwon, but overall, it's J.H.E.
Suon Love.
Suwon! But J.H.E. overall. Because I love J.H.E. But we don't get to meet J.H.E.
Flake. Suon forever.
Sorry, I'm not into being stabbed in the back.
You paint me like one of your French girls.
No!
Yes.
I don't want to imagine you looking like one of my French girls.
Did you unpause the recording?
I did.
Oh, crap.
I'm not cutting that out. Let's keep going.
Don't cut it out. That's exactly why
I was going to say,
continued
you're not
talking.
stabbing you in the back, it's stabbing you in the gut. Deep into the gut.
Oh dear.
I guess then, let's get into the...
Deep like your crush shoving something in your dad?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I guess...
Can we go back to the review? God dang it.
Yes. All right, so I think we should start with
God dang it.
our like base thoughts. Let's start with Realm Shifter this time.
I actually like the show, although there was a bit too much crying for my liking.
There was a lot of crying.
Fair.
I almost cried during one part, but I also didn't. It was more like I shed a slight bit of water in my eyes, but that was about it.
It definitely reaches for the feels sometimes. Not
Sometimes.
the most feely show, but it tries.
It tries,
But then, the opening episodes, I do agree, have a lot of moping.
yes.
All right, Lord Vorn, we all know you have opinions.
It didn't interest me. I cried slightly during the last 12th episode that we watched. There's good jokes. That chibi was nice.
Yes, it does have a good sense of chibi humor. All right, Seki.
I like Akatsuki no Yona, and I'm caught up in the manga, and I've seen all of the anime. We're waiting for a season 2. Finally, I get to say that instead of one of you. But I like the show. I like it a lot. I think it's really funny. It's a little cry-y, but nothing you can't get over. Suck it up, Buttercup.
So I like the show overall, but in regards to what we watched, I do feel the latter half of it gets very, how do I put this, reverse harem-y. The same kind of tropes you'd find in a harem anime, you find a lot in the last half of this first 12 episodes.
Yeah, next time we be a little bit more careful not to cut stuff up in the middle of arcs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well then, everybody. I think we should get started into the episodes, right? Go into the episodes?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
First episode. Episode 1. The Princess Yona Transcription. What did everybody think of the first episode?
It was a good introduction to some of our main leading characters. We got wonderful peace-loving King 2 over here.
Yes.
A little bit too peace-loving.
Yeah. But
I mean-
and then we also do have Yona herself, and then we have
Hawk.
Yeah, Hawk, her guardian, my
Let's
spirit
not
animal
forget
as well.
Suwon-sama.
Suwon-sama.
Who actually doesn't get much to do in this.
No.
In this
setup.
particular
But
episode.
it's Suwon-sama.
Suwon. Well, I guess I think I do like some. There's a little bit of foreshadowing some of the faults of the king here. And if you remember during the early parts of it, I really like this aspect of it. They're practicing the target practice, and he makes the comment that he doesn't even like letting Suwon and Hawk do the arrow practice, the shoot target practice. I like that about the show, actually, is that it does foreshadow a few things.
Yeah.
Well, obviously, the elephant in the room here is Yona walking in on her lifelong crush, shoving something deep into her father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that thing is
Ooh.
a sharp sword only meant to kill.
You know what
Right in
makes
the
this
guts.
better is the fact that I was reviewing some of my Latin notes from high school, right?
Mhm.
And
Oh.
just, sword in Latin is where we get the root for the word. That thing that describes that sword that men have. Yeah.
The phallic
Oh.
one.
Yeah, that
Oh.
one. And the word for
Oh.
sheath is
Well,
The thing
the
that
woman's
covers it.
thing.
Oh.
Yeah, so the sword and the sheath. So the fact that
Oh.
Suwon was stabbing his sword into the king,
Sakmet.
Mm.
No, no, no.
my.
I'm
best
just pointing it out.
I don't
The
think we
YouTube
needed
police are going
that.
to come for us for making that.
I
that
think
joke.
it needed to be
Oh my!
Episode 2, Broken Pond.
Uh,
So in episode 1, Broken Pond's weird, because in episode 1, we follow Yona for most of it, and then partway through it switches to Hawk's point of view, and you just see Yona being about to be executed when Hawk saves her. Episode 2 kind of fills in that gap,
Yeah.
and then finishes up they're fleeing, in which you see character who you've only knew for 5 minutes get killed.
Yep.
yep.
So it definitely functions a little bit weirdly, I think, but it works for what it's trying to do. Yeah, no,
I
episode
liked
2's great.
seeing from Hawk's point of view. And we finally get to see what he does with that giant fly swatter that he calls a weapon.
It is an anime weapon, okay? That's actually a fairly
Okay.
small anime weapon.
I know that it actually has a name. Now I have to look up because it's the same.
an actual weapon.
I
as
know
well.
it's the same one that Whitebeard uses in One Piece.
Well, except usually it's not an actual solid, non-bending piece of metal. Usually it can bend a little bit more because that's a lot of weight on one end of a goddamn
Yeah,
stick.
that's the point.
So yeah.
That's the point.
It's like a pole arm, basically.
Yeah, it's something. Yeah, keep talking. I'll figure it out and let everyone know.
So, moving on, I guess, to episode 3, sort of.
Episode 3, Faraway Sky Transcription.
Forget
Oh, wait. Oh.
What?
So I'm reading the episode titles on Wikipedia, and when I'm saying transcription, it's not actually part of the title. It's Wikipedia saying the transcription for this is
Oh
insert
my
Japanese
God.
name here. So
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Okay.
Oops.
Good job, Nick Nick. You outdone
Nick made a
yourself.
boo-boo.
It was my time.
Someone gut punch him.
I'm too lazy to get up and do that.
Episode 3. So this is the episode where we get
Naginata.
Naginata.
Sorry, they're called Naginatas. I just had to figure it out.
This is the episode where we get introduced to the best threesome.
Yeah.
Hawk, Suwon, and Yona, all in
Can
a
we-
bed together.
No.
uh,
no.
As children.
Degenerate.
No.
Okay, but let's be honest. It's hard to ship any of the two of them separately, but they all have such great chemistry together.
It's true. They balance each other out.
Stop, you lolicon!
Not in the children.
Not when they're
form, even in the
children. When
adult
they're
form.
grown, they would make a
Don't talk about it in this episode.
No, they would make a very good functional threesome.
But
They
this is the
balance
episode
each
where
other
they
out.
Start showing it. They showed it a little bit in the other one where Suwon and Hawk have this very homoerotic
Yeah, talk
conversation.
about it in that one, not this
That's a
one.
prior episode, but this is the first episode where you really see them having the dynamic all together.
Honestly, the show is like a mix of like very straight and gay aspects. So yeah.
Well, on that note, we get introduced. I believe, is this the episode where we get introduced to the most important character?
Are you talking about the...
Contagion.
Contagion.
Yes.
Okay, everybody.
Who the
So,
who?
first off, really quickly. So, this is a Japanese anime, but all the character names are actually based on Korean names,
And the
which is why some of the boys are having trouble with it. I know more Korean stuff than they do in terms of like pronunciation.
Nerd.
It's Contagion.
Who was this again?
Do you remember when Yona goes falling face long off a cliff in a later episode?
Yeah.
He's the guy who she and Hawk were fighting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
the fire
the rapist guy.
plant.
The fire, everything was great till the Fire Nation attacked. Yes, that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember him.
Uh-huh.
The one who, like, very clearly it has it hard for Yona, but, like, isn't actually a good person.
Yep, pretty much.
Whew.
Also, I forget if it's at this point or not, but like I know they've ran away from the kingdom at this point. But Hawk has made some mild remarks about how, like, basically Yona doesn't really get his feelings at this point, and also he's trying not to have feelings for her in some senses.
This is obvious. Like, this is where the reverse harem starts to come into play. Everybody likes Yona. It's actually, if I had a criticism of the show, that's it. Is that everybody?
I mean,
Has a
and
pretty
it's
bad
fair
feeling.
because it is.
And
kind
there is an explanation for this for some of the characters later on in the show. Like as we go later into
but
the
there
episodes.
isn't at the moment.
But
so
there
it's
isn't at the
very-
moment, so it's kind of a bit weird, but also we don't have that many characters besides Hawk and Yona at this point.
Yeah, it definitely gets very, if I had to put it in a specific term, Kirito from Sword Art Online bad sometimes.
Yes.
I will say the difference is, though, Yona's a lot more of a character who actually has to develop than Kirito is.
Yes.
So that's what like makes me like Yona a little bit more than Kirito.
But she still has a bit of Kirito syndrome in her.
Just in terms of the harem aspect.
Honestly, I'd say she falls more under the aspect of a Mary Sue in that sense.
In that sense. In other senses, no. That's like the only saving grace for that.
Yes.
Alright, episode 4. The Wind Clan.
Yes, the Wind Clan. This one, I forget. The Wind Clan was Hawk's clan, right?
Yes.
Okay.
He was the general.
Yeah, he was the general of it. Already took over from his grandfather Munduk. And
Muddock.
Munduk.
I like just calling him Muddock. It's more funny. I laugh at that, okay?
Seki is about to kill Lord Warren. We shall schedule his funeral.
Shortly here.
Yeah.
That one. That one.
This is the... Yes, the Fire Nation started being absolute a-holes in this episode.
Yes, because they believed that they had spotted the princess somewhere along the way or whatever. No, actually that wasn't the reason. That it was because Munduk refused to agree
bend the
to
knee.
Suwon's enthronement as king.
Well, also, Haku left with Yona, and where's the most likely place you could go to pretty
The
much
Wind
threaten
Clan.
them?
The Wind Clan.
Because Hawk is the adopted son of the Wind Clan chief.
And the general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although he is he is technically the Wind Clan chief for the first part, like a few episodes, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, until
Yeah.
he resigns.
Yeah.
Until he resigns,
At the end
gives
of
it
this
back
episode.
to his grandfather for reasons that he explains.
Yeah.
There's a lot of politics starting at this point.
Yes. And I like it, actually.
Yeah.
The politics part was nice.
Yeah, no, if the series does one thing well, it does the politics really, really well, I think.
Yeah.
For what it is. I do think the politics still comes secondary to the reverse harem stuff. At least
It's no Game of Thrones level of politics, but it's certainly got good political elements to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're introduced to a lot of characters here, but not many of them are reoccurring. So I don't know if we need to go through them all. Any
No.
highlights for you guys?
Nah.
Nah, not really.
No.
I personally like, what was it, the kid that keeps getting sick?
Oh yeah, the kid's adorable.
Yeah, and every time he's there, every person, the men and the women, all swoon over him.
Yep.
I like the
'Cause
joke
he's that adorable.
where pretty much the guy runs off and they say he's dead and try to bury him,
Yeah.
even though he's alive. I don't.
I'm alive, guys! Oh no, how could they kill him? There's history behind that, but they don't tell us, and I love it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Mm.
All right, guys. Episode 5. Roar.
Roar.
Oh my!
Roar XD.
And this is more of a continuation of the last episode, I believe.
Yeah.
It's got there's a little bit more Yona sulking.
Yep. Seeing a bunch of injured people and then being like, "Ah,
This
what
is
have
the
I done?"
This is the suffering.
Too much shelterness. Too much shelterness.
And you get more of the adorable little boy.
Yes.
And then Hawk abandons the Wind Tribes for its safety.
Yes. And
Attempting to leave Yona.
he gets rid of his last name as well. Instead of being Sunhawk, now he's just Hawk.
Yeah.
Now, I believe this episode does halfway through shift into Hawk and Yona traveling again, right?
Yes, it
Yes.
does.
Uh-huh.
And Hawk did try to
And it's where
leave
Hawk's-
Yona in the Wind Clan's protection, but she was not having any of it.
And it's
so-
where they come back up against T.H.E.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best character.
the best character.
My secondary waifu.
God.
The wimp.
Throw him off the cliff.
The haughty wimp is like the title I give for those types of characters.
But he's not that hot.
No, I said haughty, as in he's very pompous and brags a lot.
Oh, okay.
I thought you liked English.
What do you mean?
You're the daughter of an English teacher.
Yes.
You didn't know what haughty means?
No, I thought he said HOTTIE, not HAU.
Ah.
I thought he said hottie, as in he's hot, not haughty.
No, haughty.
I mean, Suon is haughty.
Suwon's also a hottie.
Suwon's haughty.
Yeah, Suwon's a hottie.
But anyways, jokes aside.
But the haughty man
Yes.
comes back and corners them in a canyon.
Yes.
And thus, I believe this is the episode where Yona finally cuts her hair to make her look like the...
I think that's the next one.
Is that the next episode?
I think.
Yeah, it's the next episode.
Ah, okay.
Or here you get to see him get
No,
shot at.
here
and
she
stabbed
runs
at.
out and knocks the soldier down after Hawk is poisoned.
This is the episode where if it were Game of Thrones, every Hawk would be totally dead.
And then you see the fires in her eyes as she gives that impassioned speech to Taejun that terrifies him out of his fuck.
You cut yourself off,
Oh.
Wets. I got it.
Good job.
I got it. Oh, that was close.
you're fine.
The power of editing shall save us today.
Oh no, that'll stay in there this time.
Okay.
You too.
I didn't actually say the word.
You two, police approaching.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
sir. I didn't actually say the full word. You'll find if you review the transcript that I did stop at the U.
Well, that is true, but you almost did, so therefore, you have been unalgorithmized. I don't know what the actual word
So episode 6,
Demon
The
Powers,
Crimson
then.
Hair.
Well, that too, but
Transcription.
we're not making any money on this.
Akai, Kami.
Well, this is definitely the episode where Yona cuts her hair in the big I am woman, hear me roar moment and
Yes.
looks like the poster. And she looks a lot better when she looks like the poster, I think.
Ironically, not the poster you've chosen for our graphic. She has long hair in this one.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah,
Oops.
whatever.
Uh,
I like her better with short hair anyways. Very
Yeah.
lesbian.
yeah, she did look a bit better.
Okay.
It's very clear the long hair or the short hair was the first design they knew.
Yeah.
Like when the artist was doing the original
Yeah.
manga, I believe it was.
Yeah.
this is the like they have a little bit of a fight scene, but this is the episode that mostly has them going off a cliff, right?
Yes.
I do think it's interesting though that Taejun brings back Yona's cut off hair as proof of death.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
That's kind of normal.
That's like expected.
No, but like
because...
as proof of death, he could have brought back her body.
No,
You
because
know?
Well, no, he
remember
said
they
she
have
off a
no
cliff
way of
and
they-
going
Yeah.
down that cliff. At least
I
not
know,
easily.
it's just it seems like a weird thing to still have is her hair.
And I mean, if it's a princess,
It's not
who hasn't, like,
unweird
lifted anything a
because
day in her life because
she
of her
cut
father.
off her hair
going
and they
off a
still
cliff
had it in her
with a
hand.
guy.
One of you at a time!
No,
Please!
no.
I can't hear you both. I literally could not hear either of you. So anything you just said was moot because I understood none of it.
Okay. So what I was saying was that he had her hair in his hand before she cut it off. So therefore, that's why he would have her hair in the first
I
place.
know, it's just a little weird outside of the story context.
Well, I mean, he told Suon that she went off the cliff.
Yeah.
So, and it was pretty obvious they couldn't find her body, and they made quite a big point earlier in the episode that going off that cliff, you're not likely to live.
Also, would you want to show your king a body that's been literally snapped to pieces?
I guess more importantly,
Absolutely.
for
10 out of 10. I would absolutely want to see that if I was king.
Oh.
I want to ensure the death of those that could take my throne from me.
so we never
Your
hand the
childhood
throne
sweetheart.
Yes, even
Yes!
that. Even
so we
that.
never hand the throne to
Oh.
Seki. Good to note.
I want to see the death. I want to see the light leave their eyes.
Oh my.
Okay.
Okay, then. Well,
Oh
and
my.
more importantly, for
Uh.
story reasons, this is where Suon thinks Yona's dead for the rest of the time period of this arc or this episodes we've watched.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
sad. Suon, best waifu, looked sad.
Oh yeah. Nah. When I got to this
And,
episode, I don't hate him anymore.
Mr. Fire Clan King wants to be punished by Suon for the death, for letting Yona die.
Punish me, Daddy.
He got
Quite
the
literally.
perfect punishment.
Quite literally. Quite literally.
I had to. I really did.
Ah!
I really, really did. There was a necessity.
He did actually get the perfect punishment. He has to now live with the knowledge, knowing he killed her, kind of.
I mean,
Or
they both liked her.
rather let her die, I guess.
Yeah.
Two guys mourning over the fact that they caused the death of the woman they loved. Too bad they both actively tried to kill her.
Well, this is also
Stupid
where we
idiots.
meet Yoon in the hut after they've fallen off the cliff.
Yes, but we don't. He wasn't named quite
Yeah.
at this point. He just kind of said like, "Oh no,
Yeah,
two dead people."
Yeah, the little boy. The femboy.
Femboy.
Finally, we're coming to Chinobi, or Chinibi, or whatever.
Chunibyo.
Chunibyo.
Is there a Chunibyo in this series?
I don't think so.
No, I'm thinking like the small characters that are animated.
Chibi.
There we go.
Chibi. Okay.
Oh my god, that was so convoluted.
Sorry.
Chunibyo has to find a way to be in every episode. I swear.
Oh my god.
Okay.
'Cause it was like this episode doesn't really, or rather, the series
And
doesn't
we see
really
the
have
Oracle.
any Chunibyo aspects to it.
Yeah.
All right. Episode 7. Fate. My favorite episode. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
It's fate. How could it not be?
How could it not be the best? No, I'm kidding. We meet the Oracle in this episode, who they've been searching for.
Also, he is low key a hentai protagonist with that with that covered eye, with those covered eyes.
Yeah, great.
I mean, he doesn't have much access to scissors. Evidently.
Well, I mean, the guy could cut his bangs off for him, but he doesn't. So therefore,
Very fair.
This is also the episode where we're introduced to the concept of the 4 dragons, right?
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. And this is where we hear about the red dragon coming down to Earth and becoming the first emperor, but being hated.
Yeah.
And then the 4 dragons, who each came down to Earth and were like, dragon, come back up with us. And the red dragon was like, nah, bruh, I don't want to do that.
I love.
And they were like, here, I will
humans.
put some blood in like each of these humans, and they will carry on my protection of you.
And this also introduces an aspect of the series that doesn't necessarily come much into play during this part of the series, but if I remember, it will come into play later. The religion aspect, the
Yeah.
kingdom's relationship to religion,
Yes.
which is interesting. Like, they banished the Oracle because they wanted to eliminate the king's ties to religion.
Mm-hmm.
And but
Well, also,
we also
stop
mentioned
power taking
Yeah.
away.
But also, we mentioned this slightly earlier, was like how you disliked Yona's seeming like Mary Sue aspect, how like everyone likes her.
In some ways, she's the chosen one.
But it turns out that the reason everyone likes her is because she is supposedly inherited the red dragon's blood.
That's
Well,
for
and
the
that-
later
Or
characters.
or is it at least
Yeah, that just ties the dragons to her. That
Yeah.
doesn't affect anyone else.
Oh,
That shouldn't affect
Yeah.
Hawk and
that
Suwon.
shouldn't affect
Yeah.
Hawk and Suwon.
Hawk and Suwon just like her,
Hawk and
like
Suwon-
her.
But there is other reason for them to like her because they've known each other since childhood. So there is other reason for them to like her.
Hawk, Suwon, and Yona sitting in a tree.
Uh,
Kissing.
Quite
First
literally.
comes love, then comes murder, then comes your dead dad in your bedroom. Okay, then.
Actually, no, it's his bedroom.
That's not
Fair.
in the bedroom.
It's his bedroom.
Oof.
It's actually his father's room.
Oh.
It is the
Yeah.
father's room.
Yeah.
But whatever, we passed that a while ago. Back
Can we
to
at least
episode
talk
7.
about what the Oracle tries to do and how stupid it is?
Wait, tries to do which part? He tries to do quite a few things.
Yeah, like
He
what?
he gives gold out to the villagers that
Yeah.
are in need.
Yeah.
And it's like one of the most stupidest things to do. You're
Well,
not
I mean,
really
he's a
helping
blind-
them.
He's holy man.
He's a holy man. He believes
Yes,
in
but
the
that
good.
won't help people at all.
He
Vincent, he's
he's a
Welcome to
deity.
philosophy with the Anime Club.
hang on,
Yeah.
stop.
Well, I guess the Oracle giving gold, though, that is episode 8. So I guess we should move on to episode 8, The Chosen Door.
The chosen door.
What a weird
Yeah.
title.
Uh,
So the gold handing out. Your thoughts?
it's stupid. Here's the thing. If you do it, what you're doing is like you're giving like a lifeline to a person to let them not literally do anything else. It's like I'm trying to think of an analogy for this, and I'll probably think of it a bit later.
Well,
but
it's the fish to
yeah.
water, right?
Yes, there you
Give
go.
a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man to fish, you feed him for the rest of his life. But he's not looking at it from this perspective. Like, he's an oracle, and from what we hear in the history, the oracles in this world grow up, and they're basically like some of the most powerful people in
Yeah.
the kingdom. They're doted on. They're like weighted on hand and foot. They don't work a day in their lives. He probably doesn't realize that giving gold out isn't a good thing. He thinks he's helping people.
It's also particularly weird because if you look at the specific part, he's walking around in an area that doesn't have much access to food or resources.
Mhm.
So it's not like they have much there's no water to lead them to.
Mm-hmm.
Well, here's the thing. I'm just saying it's a stupid thing, just so like people know it's a stupid thing. I know that it's actually because he just doesn't know any better, and yeah, but it's still just not a good thing to do in general.
And we'll take that as a matter of personal philosophy then.
Yeah.
I guess back on track to the episode. This episode was mostly a flashback, and if I remember right, what's his name? You know the names better than I do. The kid.
Yoon.
Yoon. We get Yoon's little backstory with the sandals, the straw sandals.
Yep.
Yep.
I love the Oracle straw sandals. They really speak to my cooking talent.
I think that Oracle is just all your cooking talent.
It's knick-knack, but for everything outside of cooking.
Yeah.
Can you imagine knick-knack trying to make himself pants and a shirt?
Oh dear.
Hey, I've taken a sewing class before.
So you'd make yourself a skirt.
Probably not, but beside the point. I never said I
here's
was
the
good
thing.
at it.
He might do it like he puts the fabric on his leg and he ends up sewing
Sews it
himself.
Instead of sewing the pants together, I surgically removed my leg on accident.
Somehow.
And instead, you remove not only do you surgically remove your leg, you manage to make a leg out of cloth, and it somehow functions like a normal leg.
Wait, but that's talent. That's like...
At that point, there are crazier things I've just done than just sewing off my leg.
Yeah.
Like, at that point, he's a medical miracle, and we need to profit off of putting him on show like a freak.
Yeah, exactly.
Well then, so at this point, Yoon actually joins Hawk and Yona.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they leave the Oracle in this big tear because the Oracle is absolutely incompetent at functioning. So like Seki in walking.
Until
Flat ground is not my friend.
Unless it's ice.
Yes, or a roller skating rink floor, and I'm wearing roller skates or ice skates.
She's
then
better
I'm
on
fine.
roller skates than she is on her own 2 feet.
Well, at least the Oracle didn't fall this time.
Yes, they hint that it's mostly an act, him falling.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
Which is adorable.
Mm-hmm.
But that actually moves us on to the next episode.
Yeah. Episode 9, Wavering Determination. You've unlocked a save point.
yeah.
You may now save your quest progress.
Whew, okay.
Suwon is crowned king of Coca Kingdom.
He also gives this big speech about how they don't need gods or something like that.
Yeah, this
Isn't
is
that
like-
like an internal speech?
No, I believe he actually gave a speech that he didn't
Yeah.
need the
Oh.
gods. And there's a little bit more going on here that they briefly mention, like how the kingdom, like it points out that the kingdoms involved in all of this and the tribes are not exactly like the only people in this world. They acknowledge that, like to the north, and it actually looks like the Korean Peninsula.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
There are
it's based on because it's called the Koka Kingdom. It's based on Kogiro and Guro and the Korean kingdoms.
like the kingdom's very existence is threatened by their political infighting, which kind of leads into like why Suwon sort of took over in the first place.
Mhm.
Because
And leads back to like the weak king, the
Yeah.
cowardly king.
but I think they do more with that later, so we're not going to go too into it.
Yeah, we're not gonna. Well, if you have a thought.
Well, this is actually, during this episode, it kind of made me realize. Because I hate him during the first episode because of what he did and whatnot. But, like, I didn't hate him after this, but it's like, I actually thought, if you had this much power, you still couldn't at least try to save them? It's like, really?
I mean, what are you going to do? Go up to your
Uncle.
uncle and say, I need you to hand over the kingdom so I can fight a war.
Yeah.
He was going to
a
marry
peace-loving
her.
king.
But the uncle was saying, or but the
Yeah.
king was saying, Suwon may not marry Yona.
Yeah, he wanted Hawk to marry Yona.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
I actually don't think it's that unusual because Hawk is the son of a great general next to be one of the big generals.
Also, by the way,
very
Yona and
influential.
Suwon are cousins.
Yeah.
Eh,
Hawk is not her cousin. So he's already got more points.
Well, okay, come on. Royalty always marry cousins
But
during
I find this
time.
interesting because,
Maybe
like you
more.
said, in episode 1 you hate Suwon, but in episode 1 you're only seeing things from like the nobility's perspective.
Yeah.
The nobility's perspective, Suwon just killed the king.
Yeah.
From like when you're looking at the perspective of, like the country as a whole or the kingdom as a whole, you see Suwon like the king. If Suwon did not kill the king, it could have gotten much worse.
Yeah. Because as we also learn from one of these episodes, I forget if it's this one or not, but there's a bunch of like tax evasion going on from other kingdoms and whatnot.
I believe that was in later episodes.
Yeah, it was probably it was one of the later episodes, I think. But
let's not talk too much about that.
Okay, but it's a plot point and it kind of relates to this. So.
There's a lot of hints that it was a weak government.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One thing that actually, I don't think Suwon was initially not trying, because obviously it was not intentional that Yona walked in on Suwon killing her father.
Yeah.
I think initially the plan was kill the father, Suwon marry Yona.
Yeah.
Which would have legitimized it. But a few things went wrong. Suwon's advisor tried to kidnap Yona in an earlier episode in which she managed to flee and find Suwon.
Yes.
So that I was like, I think the first fault in his plan.
Yeah.
That led towards Yona being hunted with Hawk.
And then Yona walked in on them.
And then Yona walked in on her lifelong crush, shoving something deep into her dad.
Well, because if you think that, theoretically, if she hadn't walked in, right, and Suwon had gone to visit his beloved uncle in the morning or something, and his uncle had been found dead, and, Yona is going to be the next queen, right, but she has to marry, and she loves Suwon, and at this point I want to marry Suwon!
Yeah.
Theoretically, they would have just gotten married, and then Hawk promised to serve
Yeah.
Suwon if Yona married him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when you actually analyze this, you kind of realize Suwon didn't want to have to kill Yona and Hawk.
Yeah. That just is an
ideally he did not want any of this to be discovered by either of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, but maybe taking a little bit more effort, he probably could have done it without even
They did,
needing
though.
to kill.
Remember,
the king.
they tried to have Yona kidnapped, which would have sent Hawk off hunting for Yona.
Yeah.
And the king would have died in the middle of all that.
I'm just saying, with a little bit more effort, he wouldn't have probably even needed to actually kill the king. So,
Well,
yeah.
I think he was always going to need to kill the king because the king was a peace lover. He didn't believe in violence or fighting.
Which would have ended the kingdom.
Yeah.
It's interesting. This is where I actually do love the politics of all.
I think it's probably because I've actually read like a book. For those who don't know, it's called. Let's see. Let me try to remember. Realistic Kingdom Reforms, or something like that. And like it's like there's still the same peace-loving king, but like the person who takes over after him is it's an isekai, so of course it's gonna be a person from Japan, but yeah. He has absolute no power, and like the king just gives him his power, and he's able to take country that is literally in shambles, like the current kingdom right now, and is able to turn it around and actually make it for the better.
But that's making the assumption that the king who gives him power doesn't mind him turning to violence. And the king himself, like King, I forget his name.
King 2.
Yeah, King 2. He like actively opposed any violence on behalf of anyone. Like if he'd still been alive and Suwon had wanted to conduct a war, even if it was for the benefit of the kingdom, he still would have said no with his character.
This is probably why Suwon is my favorite character personally in this series.
Well, and then I'm trying to think if what I'm thinking of was a spoiler from a later episode or not. And I'm not going to say it because I think it might be, so I'm not going to.
Yeah, careful. A lot of Suwon stuff is spoilers for later episodes.
Yeah, and I just remembered something that I heard in one of the episodes, but I think it may have been like after episode 12, so I'm not going to.
Well, on that note, I guess we should move on.
Yeah, because they're going looking for the Dragon Warriors. They get ambushed by some people, and then the episode ends.
Oh yeah, they ambushed by members of the
you mean the intermarrying albinos, which is what I think they are.
They're ambushed by the White Dragon Clan, which is
a shut-in clan that doesn't have contact with the outside world, that wears nothing but white. They all have white hair. They all have the same color eyes, and they all look the same.
And they use the fog.
And This is like ancient times.
Exactly.
So, yes, there's probably a lot of inbreeding going on.
Yes, very much. You gotta wonder, like, how do they survive this long with this much inbreeding?
Episode 10, Yearn.
So we go to the village of the White Dragon in this episode, and we meet Kija, the new White Dragon. He's got basically his power from the White Dragon is this giant draconic arm, right? So like his whole arm from like the shoulder down, tipped with claws, scales all over, and it like pulses and gets bigger and firmer and rounder when he's near the red dragon.
It's clearly a metaphor for his sword.
Yes, it is very much a metaphor for the metaphor of his sword.
Although I wonder if he actually uses it for his sword.
I don't know. I mean, it got erect in the episode.
And well, also that arm is apparently very hot. So
okay. Well, let's move away from this subject.
No. Oh yeah, segment. We were talking about incest, and like I remember you talking about like how there was like a 4-family tribe that actually lasted for like so.
Oh yeah,
long.
There's an Aboriginal tribe in Australia that they base their entire system of marriage and family values on 8 names. And depending on your name, you can only marry a person with another specific name. Each name is gender locked and locked by the names of your parents. So there are only 8 names in the culture, but no one ever marries anyone closer than their second cousin at the same time because of the way the names are locked in the circle.
It's they're mathematically trying to decrease the chances of genetic deformities.
Exactly. And it's worked really well for them so far, but also it is so complex. Like the system itself.
I bet that's what the, White Dragon tribe and probably the rest of the tribes are using.
Well, no. They just told Kija to find yourself a woman.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't bother. Like,
and then he finds Yona, and he and Hawk have sword measuring contests.
Yes. Because, Kija's, pulsing and erect. That's the best way to describe it.
And Hawk has a lot of stamina and inhuman strength.
By the way, that criticism I had earlier of this very much, like, falling into the trappings of reverse harem really start in this episode.
Yeah. But not a lot happens other than getting to
Yeah.
the tribe, they meet the white dragon, and then they go to they take Kija with them when they leave.
Yeah.
I mean, this all
I like
happens.
the joke.
This all happens
Yeah.
pretty fast.
Both jokes.
Yeah.
The blood in my arm says I have to follow you.
And it's like pulsing. And it's on screen too. His arm is like pulsing and getting bigger.
Yeah. Now that ain't a joke for me.
That's hilarious. That's what
Episode
that is.
11, The Dragon's Claw.
So apparently the dragons can sense each other,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Because they also sense Yona.
Plot device.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so they fight some bandits in this episode, and you see Hawk, and this is where you see the Hawk and Kija sword measuring contest.
yeah, and Hawk's just like, I got this,
Mm-hmm.
but
They-
not really.
They have
Because
very
he
much so a
opens one of
Legolas
his
Gimli
wounds.
thing going on.
Oh, definitely. Except there's a lot more gay.
Big.
I mean, okay, Legolas
Yeah.
and Gimli is very gay. There's a Russian cover of The Two Towers that was published where it's just like the two of them staring lovingly into one another's eyes on the cover of a book. And this is gayer than that. Like, this is amazing.
This is the big gay.
The big gay.
They eventually wander into find a bunch of cave people.
Yes. And they do not know anything about the blue
So
dragon.
that's
is what
into
they're-
episode
that's who
12
they're
when they
looking
get to
for.
the cave.
Well, no,
Yes.
they reached the...
Do they?
They reach it by episode 11, but I think at like the end of it.
I think it's
Yeah.
the very end.
Very end.
Yeah.
They
And then
ask
they actually start like
for-
looking around for him in episode 12.
Yeah. They ask for shelter, and I think
Because
that's where it
because
cuts off.
episode 11 is where we see Yona. You know, Hawk made a joke earlier, like if I wanted her to be good at archery, I'd have her shoot 2,000 arrows.
Or no,
Or we see her-
200.
200.
Yeah.
And we see her at night, and she's like awake while everyone else is asleep, shooting arrows one after
Yeah.
another.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about that kind of drive. I can't get that kind of drive.
It's actually funny, because like, the implication there is, I think, that Hawk does not want Yona to actually learn to respect King too.
Yeah. Yeah, and Yona desperately wants to because she doesn't want Hawk to be hurt.
Like, in this episode, Hawk prevents Yona from helping them with the fight.
Yeah.
Which ultimately may have been smart, may not have, we don't know.
Yeah.
Well,
You're
It's not
talking-
like
she
Kija
ends up
needed help.
shooting an arrow in the bandit fight at one
But that
point.
gets her found.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. You're talking about an archer in close range combat.
Yeah, it's usually not a good
Yeah.
idea.
No.
But that's other points. Actually, episode 12 more so, I think, covers the Blue Dragon
Yeah.
story.
It's
Yeah,
called
episode 12 is the big flashback episode.
Yeah. it's
The
called
go-
The Blindfolded Dragon. That's the name of the episode, I think.
Yeah, from what I can tell, I believe this is Vorn's, like, the one episode like Vorn actually kind of liked.
Yes. I
I-
actually kind of cried.
I really like this episode.
Yeah.
I think it's a really touching backstory.
Well, episode 12, The Blindfolded Dragon.
Yeah. So, everyone arrives at this cave village where they know that the blue dragon's here. They just haven't seen him, met him. It seems, and when they ask the villagers go like, no, there's no blue dragon here. But they're all wearing masks. It's very strange.
Well, no, only the single
Yes,
people.
single ones are wearing masks.
Yeah.
And they're escorted to a separate cave, but instead Yona goes off in a different direction because she sees a hidden
Mhm.
door, and then she actually runs into the blue dragon.
Who
No.
saves her from some...
Yeah.
She
shady guy.
runs into the rapist.
Yes,
and
who then
Blue.
who the blue dragon then saves her from. Yeah.
Yeah.
And he has a pair of bells tied to his mask, but it's like a demon mask,
Yeah.
and it's really. And then we get into the proper backstory of the back.
And we find out, unlike the White Dragon, which, like, worshipped their dragon, these guys hate their dragon.
They think
fear
of him as a monster
And a
because
curse.
the eyes have the power.
Bakemono!
Yeah, because the eyes have the power to like literally kill a person. Like
Yeah.
give essentially what I understand it to be is
Medusa.
just give them literally a heart attack where they're standing from terror,
Mm-hmm.
which will kill them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Medusa.
Yeah.
And we actually see his old, like, teacher with this, like...
Ow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sad. And because you realize, like, we see in the White Dragon Village that when a new dragon is born, the old one is tasked with teaching them, and as the young one's power grows, the old one's diminishes. And that's so the blue dragon is so reviled, Owl, the old one, because of his eye power. And you see him teaching like the young blue dragon, and he's slowly going like more and more blind, and he's so happy that
Yeah.
his vision is fading. And when it finally fades, I mean, like when I saw him walking, like finally blind,
Mhm.
like he felt like he was just a walking corpse. Like there'd been so much on him for his entire life that he was just a walking corpse.
Because the villagers simultaneously feared him while also relying on him for their protection.
Yeah. It's a really heartfelt episode. Like, it really gets you.
Mm-hmm.
But the end of the episode involves, like,
and then at the end, well, actually, towards the end of it, I was going to say that we don't actually hear the blue dragon's name in this episode, do we?
No,
Nope.
not
Yeah.
the new one.
But anyway, the blue dragon, he actually uses his power to defend the village because he's not skilled enough yet to use the sword, but he could at least use his power to defend the village. And then he doesn't. And then finally, after the end of it all, he finally understands why Ao wanted him to never use the power.
Although I will say a fun fact that we don't learn in this episode, but the current blue dragon doesn't actually have a name. Owl is named Owl because his hair is blue.
yeah.
So she gives the blue dragon his name.
Well, it's because the villagers don't see the dragon as a person.
A monster.
Yeah,
They see it as a monster. Their guardian, but a monster. Which, at the end of the episode, that's implied to be why the villagers are in a cave now.
Yeah.
Because they're scared people will find out about this thing.
Yeah. But...
And that's the end of the arc, because we ended it right in the middle of an arc. Good for us.
Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah, if Nick
Honestly, the ending it right here did leave me a bit unfulfilled, but I wasn't about to watch any further. So.
I mean, that's not Realm Shifter's fault. Nick Nack should have checked his episode submissions.
It was like one of the first ones I submitted. I wasn't thinking about finishing the arcs.
Yeah. Because we could have finished the arc with the blue dragon.
In fact, I think I submitted this prior
if
to
we
us
just
coming
add,
up
like
with
if
the
we
arc
just
clause.
added like what one or
I think
two
it's
more
two.
one
two
or two more
episodes.
Yeah.
like we just added 2 more episodes to the total, we could have finished the arc.
15 starts a new arc, so just 13, 14 would have finished it.
Mm-hmm.
Code Geass is about the same thing as well.
So future reference, we got to be more careful. Well, I think that's all for our thoughts. Anything else anyone forgot to mention that you want to bring up real quickly before we go into our final thoughts?
Not really.
Yeah, not really either.
The squirrel. The chipmunk squirrel thing.
We don't get to see enough of him.
We don't, but he gets introduced and you see him in the opening, which is an amazing opening.
Squirrel.
I love the opening.
Yeah, the opening's so amazing.
Okay, actually, that's the one thing that I will comment on. I don't like the opening theme, but I do like the opening as a visual design. It's very visually well done.
Well, and I think you don't like it, right, because it doesn't have words?
That's part
Mostly.
of it, but it's more so I don't know. It's it fits with the theming of the whole OP and whatnot, but it's just not what I like in an OP essentially.
I didn't like the OP that much. The images were fine. The music just didn't fit in for me.
Nick Nack and I are sitting over here. We were jazzing along with it every time it played. We were into it.
Yeah.
The ending though was probably the nicest bit because music and the pictures.
Yeah, the ending was nice as well.
Yeah. All right. Well, now I guess we should get on to our final thoughts. Let's start with Vorn this time. Let's get the colorful thoughts out of the way. Always start with the colorful thoughts.
It had good development for characters and plot. There was some action. There was some comedy. But the thing is it just didn't interest me at all until the last couple episodes that we watched. Well, actually, not last couple, just the last episode, actually.
It started a little slow for you.
Yeah. Well, also, I'm pretty sure it's so much like Chinese drama. So much, I think I've just gotten desensitized to all of this.
Okay, but Seki can vouch for that. Chinese dramas do linger, apparently.
This is fair. The average running length of a Chinese drama is 81-hour episodes, and they get absolutely jack all done in under 5 episodes. Everything takes 7 hours of watch time. It is the worst.
It was at least faster though than them, but no.
Well, giving it a rating, what would you give it?
This is mostly just due to it actually being uninteresting to me. But otherwise, I would say it's a very good anime in terms of everything else I said. But I have to give it a 5 because, I just wasn't interested at all.
All right, Realm Shifter, how about your final thoughts and rating?
I actually like this. I might personally continue it outside of the actual watch of this, because at least to finish up the Blue Dragon arc, just because that would leave me feeling a little bit hollow afterwards, because it was how
Sorry.
unfinished it was. But anyways, so I thought it was pretty good overall. I give it, personally, a big gay out of 10. I like it a lot.
The big G.
Yeah, the big G.
Seki, final thoughts and rating.
Just because of where we left off, and personally, I don't really like the White Dragon arc or going up to it, but I like everything that's going to happen if one of us resubmits it. Like, I like 12 through 24. But just because of that, I say 9 Naginatas out of 10 Naginatas.
Well, you see, I thought it was... I like the series as a whole. I love this series. But I do have to concede that, like, the early episodes can drag a bit along with some, like, with that first arc does drag a bit. It was interesting, and it becomes a lot more interesting in hindsight. But in initial viewing, it can drag. I do admit that. Also, my own personal complaint of it being too harem-y towards the mid to end part at times does drag it down for me. So that's why I give it 1 AU out of 1.2 AUs.
Okay.
Okay, great.
No, it's the best series for you now, because remember, it has fate in the name of it.
True! 10 out of 10.
Having said that, I believe it is time for our draw.
Roll that wheel!
What do we get? What do we get?
Oh my Jesus Lord.
What?
What?
Oh, it paid off, Knick Knack.
Yes!
Fate Stay Night.
Real quickly before we finish up, because this is confusing before the next episode, we're talking about the original 2006 version. The version on Crunchyroll and Verve will say Fate Stay Night, but that is the 2012, I believe.
That is
it was
the
remake,
Unlimited Blade Works edition.
Yeah.
which is not at all the same as the original 2006 version. You can find the original 2006 version on Hulu, I believe.
Oh, what? I think this is more than, like, 12 episodes, so where are we going up to?
It's up to 12. It's a 24-episode series, up to 12. I checked. It does actually
Okay.
fit very well.
And we don't cut off in any specific arcs, right?
Not as far as I know, but Fate's rather continuous, so there might be a cliffhanger, but that's just Fate.
A lot of anime is continuous, which
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of makes it hard to find.
But Fate's
stuff.
usually pretty good about the cores. On that note, I think we all at least enjoyed ourselves recording here. So until next time, try harder, everyone.
Ah!
Time for bed!
Super try hard.